I just had the urge to like kind of film now, so I thought I should do it. I don't really know what I'm going to say. So I have my finals for this year in like 2 weeks. So for the last, I guess like 3 months, I've been studying, having online classes, like revision classes and all that stuff. It was just going pretty normally. And then I think about 6 weeks ago, something like very big happened in my life, and it was like a very big change. And it kind of just like knocked me out. I still had lectures and online classes and stuff, and I was just missing, like I just couldn't go to them for a few days. And I didn't know how long like it would last. I didn't know how long I'd be affected by this. I couldn't carry everything anymore, so I just, like, social media had to be dropped. And also like medical school was also dropped for a little bit. But yeah, I guess with medical school, it's not really something you can just, you know, you can't just take a break for a month. Like, if you take a break for a month, you're probably gonna fail. I don't really want to talk about what happened, like the life change now, maybe at some point in the future, but yeah, it was like a lot to deal with. I think what made it so much more difficult and what I wanted to focus on in this video is medical school, honestly. The pressure that my medical school puts us under is like kind of ridiculous. And the way that they're doing this exam is that it's an online exam, but it's done through some like software that it like locks your screen, so you obviously can't Google things. And then there's an invigilator who watches you, so you have to have your video on, you have to show them your room. They watch you through the whole thing, and like it's just a very strange way to do an exam. And yeah, but obviously I have to have an exam, fair enough. What's kind of stressing me out about the exam is that they're still using this exam, the mark we get, they're still using it for our job application scores. So before I graduate in 2 years. So like, I guess in about a year's time, I have to start, you know, thinking about applying for jobs as a doctor. You're essentially ranked against not only everyone in your medical school in that year group, but also everyone in the whole country who's applying. So it's just a very competitive and not a very nice system. It breeds like a really horrible culture at medical school, to be honest, where a lot of people are really like, that competitiveness just is not healthy, and people like won't share notes. People will be, not everyone, but there's like people who, you know, will be snaky. There's like certain groups of people who have access to certain notes and certain things, and like it's just, the culture is not very nice at times, and it becomes like every man for themselves, and I just don't like it. And I think what I'm basically saying is that like, just being at this medical school, although I do like it, I'm already operating at like quite a high level of stress. So then, and then obviously like, I enjoy YouTube. I like making videos, but that is also just naturally, that is another commitment, so that's a bit more stress. So then whenever something happens, like the thing that happened in my life last month, I have no space left to deal with it, because so much of my capacity is taken up with other things. I think a lot of students have had like concerns about this exam because everyone has been affected by COVID differently. I think that obviously then affects how everyone's going to do in their exam. And then the fact that this result is used for our job applications, it just doesn't really feel right to me. It's down to the medical school which grades they take forward for the, you know, job applications, and they are still choosing to use this year, the grade from this year. Yeah, it just feels like a very weird situation. I'm sure they're doing their best. I just think there's a lot of pressure. That's my only point. Like, there's a lot of pressure, and I think the environment, the culture at medical school doesn't help. Maybe I'm not articulating this very well. I think I've always believed that if you can use your like knowledge or skills or whatever to help someone who needs help, then that's like a really great thing to do. The main reason for medicine as a degree, as a career, is to help people, right? Why is there such a big focus on, you have to score this mark, you know, you need to be in the top of your year group, you need to like do better than everyone else, you have to like crush everyone else, and you have to smash those exams, then you have to go suck up to this professor, get your name on this paper, and like do all of this stuff. If you do that, yeah, you can work here, that's great. Oh, and I guess you can help people whilst you're doing that. Like, the focus and the priority seems off to me. I feel like the focus of a lot of medical students, the culture of medicine to an extent, is really just focused on the individual, the individual doing it, the person studying, right? I feel like the focus is on how good can I be, how much can I study, how great, like how good of a mark can I get, which specialty can I apply to, what can I do to further my career. Like, it's all very me. What can I, like, how can I be better? How can I do better than other people? And it just doesn't, like, I don't like it. Like, because I just don't really care. Sure, like, I actually do, I love medicine. Like, I like research. I like all this stuff. I like science. But I don't see why it has to be so cutthroat and so competitive. People will literally snake you. Like, they'll tell you they're not gonna go to this thing, or they'll tell you like you can go home or something, and then they'll go and find the consultant and do some extra work with them. I absolutely hate it. Like, I don't have time for it. My finals in a week or 2 weeks, I am kind of stressed for that. But if I wasn't stressed, that would probably be worrying. I think I should be a little bit stressed. But I really can't wait to just get through that exam and just have this year behind me. It has been a very long year. These years of medical school are so long. And the reason I haven't filmed for a while isn't just because of medical school. It's mainly because, honestly, because of this thing that happened in my life. But I think this thing happening just showed me like how much stress I'm already under. Because when it happened, I honestly just like, doctors are supposed to be compassionate, kind, caring people, right? If medical school felt a bit more like that, then maybe I would have had enough mental reserve and energy to deal with this other situation. Maybe not, but maybe I would have. I think one other thing I wanted to say as well is there's like a lot of student YouTubers now. There's a lot of even medical school YouTubers. Just be like mindful when you're watching these videos that the standards that someone else lives by, just because they are doing well and it's successful for them, it doesn't mean you need to live by those standards. If you're happy and you enjoy doing what you're doing and you feel like, you know, passionate about your life and the things you're doing, then that is like, you don't need to compare yourself to other people, other things, other standards. I don't know, maybe what I've said in this video just doesn't really make sense to anyone, but I just wanted to be honest, just share my experience.